Hey friends, I'm Jeff, and welcome back to the Raging Deacon Workshop. All right, you caught me. We aren't in the workshop today. As regular watchers may know, I live in the forest. Not this specific spot, but I live in the forest in Ohio. Well, I used to live in the forest in Ohio. Now, that's right, ladies and gentlemen. The Raging Deacon Workshop has moved to Costa Rica. Specifically, I've moved to the city of San Isidro de El General, which is located about 3 hours south of Costa Rica's national capital of San Jose and is one of the largest cities in the southern part of the country. It's big enough that we have a Walmart and even a McDonald's. But if you drive 10 minutes in any direction, you're out in the rainforest. So join me as I set up a new workshop in a new country. Let's get to it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the command center. It's been a while since you all have been up here. Things are running fine up here. We had a few maybe little leaks and sparks and stuff, but we've got it all worked out. We've got the command center all through customs here. from Costa Rica. Today we're not having coffee, we are having freshly squeezed, well, maybe not freshly, but fresh orange juice from our locals farmers market here today up in the command center. Only the best up in the command center. But you didn't stop by to hear me talk about orange juice. You want to hear about the plans for our new workshop. So let's get right to it. So we're going to fire up the computer system here and everything. All right, and the first thing I'm going to bring up here is a little video of the entire workshop area that I have to use and everything. Now, as you can see, we've got both an outside and an inside part. We've got this covered area, and then we've got this little shed right there that we can use as part of the new workshop. A lot of good usable space there. All right, so here we are. We're going to walk into the shed here. As you can see, we've got an electrical panel. We've got some light switches. We'll pan over. There's another outlet. All 120, and then we've got a 120 and a 240 outlet. All right, so let me give you now a couple other videos here to give you sort of a sense of the volume or the height of the inside shed in there, the workshop. First, we're going to start with the video that's showing me at the front of the workshop. Here we are at the front, and I can just about touch the ceiling in the front of the workshop. So probably roughly around 8 feet tall. And then let me bring up a video here of the back. So here's the back of the shed, and there we go all the way up. So the back is probably around 9-10 feet tall right there. So a lot of good space height wise inside of the shed. All right, let's switch gears here and let's talk about my plans for the new workshop. So let me fire up the CAD software here up in the command center. Here we go. I'm just putting this in the outline of, this is the fence that lines the backyard. We have the covered area that we looked at in the videos, and then we have our shed, which is right next to that covered area. Now the covered area measures about 17 feet by about 15 feet, a pretty good amount of space, and the shed is about 7.5 feet by 8.5 feet. So once again, a nice little space for a small workshop. Now, I've kind of decided to do this whole new workshop thing in phases. And so I am not going to worry about or try to plan anything for the outside right now. We are just going to worry about doing some planning for the shed. So let me bring up the next piece here. We'll change screens and we will bring our shed over. And there is the door in the shed as well. I stuck that in there. And that door, we didn't really see it in the video, but it is a sliding door. So that door slides back just like that. It pretty much opens up almost all the way. This is my thought. I think what I'm going to do is, one, have a workbench back along the back wall there. And I think I'm going to make the workbenches about 20 inches wide. In fact, I kind of have to if I'm going to do it back there, because the door, when it's fully open, leaves it's a little over 20 inches of space, but have 20-inch wide workbench right there. And then we will have another workbench along the other wall, once again about 20 inches wide, and encompassing that whole, maybe the whole length of the wall. Now we have the electrical panel. We saw that in the video, so we have to make sure we leave space for that electrical panel. And so I think I'm going to have some kind of tool wall for storage on this part of the shed. So this way I can have a workspace around the edges. When I need a tool, I can simply turn around, go to the tool wall, and grab a tool. So that is my plan so far. So there you go, from the command center, our plans for the workshop. All right, guys, I'm excited to show you the inside of the workshop here. As you can tell, probably by the noise in the background, it's the rainy season here in Costa Rica. So we'll do a little voiceover when we go inside. So now, as you can probably tell by the beard, some time has elapsed between the making of the benches and setting up the workshop until now. And I have been seriously hard at work just getting stuff in the workshop and getting it ready to be able to do projects. So let's go in and take a look. We're going to start off by putting the camera in the door and pointing it at the opposite wall. And the first thing that you're going to see is that I've added a shelf to the workshop to give myself some extra storage. And to accommodate that, I had to make a second change, and that was shorten the length of this workbench. Let's take a look. With the workshop being kind of small, I've decided to go with a more modular approach with my equipment. Instead of bolting things to the workbench, I've drilled dog holes so I can clamp things in place, and when I don't need them anymore, I can put them right back on the storage shelf. Now we're going to move the camera to the front of the workshop and take a look at the rear workbench. Now we'll turn the camera around to the front of the workshop so we can take a look at the tool wall. I've also spent some time making sure that the tools that I use the most are within easy reach. All right, once again, everyone, thanks for joining me on this episode. I am sorry about the rain. Nothing I can do about it. It's the rainy season here in Costa Rica. Thank you for joining me on this little journey, the start of this journey of making my new workshop. We've got a lot done, still a lot of things to add into the workshop so we can start working on some more tools and other projects. In the meantime, though, listen, if you've got any unused or tools hanging out in your drawers or in workshops somewhere, I encourage you to donate those tools to a charity of your choosing, because a good tool is more than just a tool. A good tool is an opportunity, and everyone deserves a good tool. And with that, I'll say hasta luego, see you later, and pura vida. Thanks for watching.